Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Ryder Degidio, and we are back with another episode of the Jaxxon Sports Show. Here we go really deep into the mindset and the physical and mental stimulation that it takes to be a competitor. So today we're dealing with one of the best guys on a bike, a good friend of the Jaxxon Media House. He's got stitches from the neck up to the bottom down to the toes all around. I'm sitting here with the greatest co-host of all time, Twitch. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryder!
What's up, boys?
Yeah! Thank you, Loco.
Got some super fans in the background over here.
There's a bunch of them.
Oh, wow. Hey, coming in with the attitude. I see he's ready to get back on a bike.
He is.
Confidence at an all-time high.
Yeah. But yeah, glad to be here with you guys.
We see this guy every morning in here training with Joe Cancelleri.
I see him every time I'm here.
Yeah. He's a grinder, dude.
I've been watching this kid since he was like 6.
Really?
Yeah.
How long you guys known each other?
I've known of him like his whole career.
Wow.
Yeah, we go pretty far back. I mean, I was a big fan back in the day with X Games, but
yeah,
I was around like Tyler Bierman and all those guys when I was DC, because I used to be a part of DC, and then Twitch was always around those guys.
Yeah,
so.
That's when me and Bierman were hanging a lot too.
Damn, how old were you when you were in DC?
I was like 5 years old.
Dude, he was young as hell.
How do you get on DC at 5 years old?
He's a badass. He's always been a badass on a motorcycle.
That's crazy. Like, did you always know you were going to be like this prodigy kid that was going to grow up racing?
I didn't. Like, I grew up around it, but my dad did it forever. And then I basically was born into it. And I raced. And once I got to, I was 6 or 7 years old, then I knew like it was kind of a dream of mine to go professional racing. And dude, honestly, it went so fast that I wish I can kind of go back and like pause time, but
actually enjoy the process.
Enjoy it.
Like,
because I just felt, it went way too fast.
When you're that good and you're that young, there's just races every single weekend. You're traveling everywhere. You're motorhome and you're flying. Like you literally, like I feel like the year goes by so fast.
It does. Like we start January and go till August and then have a little time off and then it's back at it. So
yeah, and a little time off is only what, a couple weeks?
A month.
Yeah, max. So. Like, and you're still riding and you're still doing shit in that month. So it's not like you have like a full disconnect break.
Yeah. And I miss amateur racing too. Like now we're just flying and every weekend and you're going to different stadiums and different outdoor tracks where, dude, I honestly enjoyed hopping in the motorhome and going racing for 2 weeks. But
and it was tracks that you've been to and you raced before. Like it's like amateur races, it's a lot of the same tracks. So it's like you know when you get there or you have like a special connection with that track, like good vibe, like, oh, I won here the last 3 years, I'm gonna win again. Like you just know.
And then you show up and all your buddies are there, so it makes it cool.
Yeah, a little bit easier nowadays, huh? A little bit easier, but a little bit more stressful.
For sure.
Because now it's like you have to do good. Like these dudes are paying you to go win races.
You show up to perform.
Yeah. Let's get into the injury, dude. I haven't really heard much. Like I heard what happened, but like for everyone that doesn't know, like what ended up happening?
So fully out of my control. Thursday before A2, ended up breaking my radial head and my elbow, and then totally split my intestines into 2.
Damn.
When I was on the track, I didn't think it was too bad. I went to go push off my arm and felt that move, which I knew it was a broken bone, but honestly, if it was just the elbow, I think I would have been fine. But I couldn't get up. So eventually got to the hospital and I was there for my broken elbow and about hour 6 in the ER, like, I'm like, dude, like there's something wrong on the inside. And when I first initially got to the hospital, they did scans on the inside and nothing had leaked into, basically I got septic. So nothing had leaked in. There was no fluid down in my stomach. And yeah, about hour 6, I'm like, this pain, it's so bad it can probably kill somebody. And,
like when you're hurt, it's bad. Like,
and I feel like we can take quite a bit of pain. And hour 6 came by and I'm like, dude, we got to do another scan. Doctor didn't even have to do another scan. He already knew what happened. So broken arm basically got put to the side then. And I spent 6 days in the hospital without eating, drinking, or anything. I had a tube down my throat and the whole bit. So
damn.
And dude, there was some nights in the hospital I woke up and my mom was sitting there and I'm like, dude, I don't think I want to do it anymore. Like there was so much pain there and I'm like, I'm good. Like I can be sidelined and be fine with it. But now that I'm out of the hospital and I guess be normal again, like it's back to it, and you miss that supper.
It's funny how that works. So there's been so many times where I'm hurt and I'm just like, I could quit right now and be fine. Like I'm happy with everything I did. Like, did I win everything I wanted to win? No, but I'm like, I think I'm good. And then literally, like you say, a couple days go by, you're like, I can't quit riding. Like, I love this shit. Like,
so a couple nights were hard. But once I got out, I think the hardest thing now, if it was either one or the other, I've been fine. But having obviously the whole ab situation and not be able to work out properly, and then having this, like, I can only do lower body, so it's tough. But now I'm finally getting to where I can move my arm, and my stomach's 100% healed already. So getting back to it.
It sucks because I feel like this year was like your year to shine. Like, you know, I feel like when you went pro, I felt like you struggled a little bit, you know what I mean? But I feel like this year with you being on the new team, new surroundings, like new everything, just even seeing you in here working out all the time, like physically you look way better. Like you look the healthiest you've ever been in, like the best shape you've ever been in. And this whole year I was like, it's going to be Ryder D's year. And Anaheim won. You came out, you're running third forever. And I'm like, dude, he's going to get a fucking podium right now. I'm like sitting there. And then you ended up getting past towards the end of the race, right?
Lap and a half to go.
And a half to go. And I'm like, fuck. Like, but after seeing that and just seeing how well you're riding the new bike, and I feel like you rode Kawa your whole career, basically. You went from Cobra, right, to Kawasaki, and you rode that your whole career. Do you feel the change going over to the GasGas team was like motivational for you, or just like, was it an easy switch?
I thought it was going to be like, and I think it took me a full year to get used to it.
Totally different chassis, totally different bikes, like everything.
Yeah, I liked the GasGas a lot at first, and I'm like, dude, this is the change I needed. This is the bike that I've always wanted, and it was, and it is at this point too. But going racing on it's a whole different ball game. And when I showed up at A1 last year, I had really high expectations, which I still did well, but at the end of the night, I was really bummed with myself.
Yeah. Just because you know what you're capable of.
Yeah, and the whole bike, and I didn't expect it, and I've never been through that before. So almost halfway through the year, I had to take a step back and was like, hey, let's get to this year and learn the bike, and then next year we can really take a stab at it. And I did that. And I think throughout all of last year, my body grew, like my shoulders got wider, like starting to become a man, and the people that I'm racing are a lot bigger than I am. So lining up this year at A1, having that confidence within myself is huge.
Yeah.
But I finally felt like I put it all together, and something that's out of my control too. Like what happened, like if it was on me, I think I would have lost a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Maybe riding over my head a little bit too much, but it was totally out of my control. So the confidence and everything is still there, and I feel like I can be right back where I was when I do line up.
Yeah, and you know how it is. Like shit happens. It is what it is. You're trying different stuff all the time, new parts, new this, new that, and it's part of developing a bike and making it really good.
Yeah.
So it sucks. I was super bummed when I heard you got hurt, because I was literally the whole time I'm like, dude, this is going to be his year. Like, so I'm looking forward to seeing you get back on the bike and like getting back out there.
Yeah, and it always happens. Like that day that it did happen, I think I unlocked a whole nother level of myself. And
just feeling good.
Yeah, dude, I was feeling great. And of course it had to be the last section of the day, and it bit me. But yeah, like I said, I don't think I lost any confidence within myself.
How much longer are you thinking until you're back on the bike?
I would say another month.
Yeah.
But I don't think, like, if I do get released in a month and everything goes to plan, like, I want to get my body back to where I was before I got hurt, and not take any chances of getting back on too early and not being strong enough, or a hand slips or whatever. So
you see that happen in our sport all the time. Like everyone's just like, oh, I got to get back out there. I'm feeling pressure from the team. Like I got to do good, and you're not all the way healed, and you go up and you end up getting hurt again or even more.
Yeah. So I'd like to get my weight back, get everything 100%, and take a full stab at outdoors. Like I think if I came back and rode Supercross, there was a couple East-West shootouts that those are even tougher than a regular West Coast round. So
they're stacked. Yeah.
Like take a full stab at outdoors and see what we can do.
That's dope. Do you have a multi-year deal with them?
So I'm on my last year. So this is contract year.
Yeah.
Which it helped that I did do pretty well at the first two rounds.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone knows what you're capable of. It's just proving to yourself.
I ran third both those rounds for a very long time.
Yeah.
But then, I think if I do well outdoors, it will make my rate go up.
Before you got hurt, did you, after those first two rounds, did you already know kind of like what you needed to work on?
Yeah, because I ran third all the way until the last lap. So it was, I think, just believing I can do it. And and those 2 rounds, like the last 2 laps, I'm like, dude, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Like I'm here. I'm
once
finally
that clicks,
doing it. And then it would slip into my head of like, damn, this guy's on me. Like I need to maybe ride harder or whatever. So yeah, it was simple things I needed to work on. My fitness was there. Everything was there. It just needed maybe a little more mental strength.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I even look at it from a perspective of like training. I see you in here every day. You're training with Joe Cancelleri. You're always working on, you know, some sort of the physical side of your body and putting in the weight, putting in the time. When you look through the training programs, like I see a lot of MMA guys, and we've talked about it with Twitch. That's why we have our recovery coach here, Coach Cody, and our boxing coaches like Yogi and Perillo. But when it comes to training, like for a bike, so many people talk about like most of the training is like fighting. You get it from sparring and really getting in the mix. We see the same thing on a bike with a lot of the athletes. Ricky Carmichael was telling us the same thing. Do you look at your training being super important, you know, as much on a bike as it is in the gym? Or do you feel like really most of the best training you get comes on a bike?
And that's something that you got to figure out on and off the bike, because you don't want to go too hard in the gym and then be tired on the bike the next day when you're practicing too. Yeah. So I felt like my success this year came from off the bike. Joe has a very different style of training. I feel like our sport used to be a lot of cycling, a lot of cardio, a lot of that, where I put on most muscle this year, and it helped me on the track a lot, which we still do the cycling and all that. But I felt like in the gym, putting on that weight and putting on that muscle really helped me this year. But at the same time, you got to put good quality days in at the track. So it's a balance you got to find. And I think it does take you a year and a half to figure out in the pros too, because you're going week in and week out. You got to figure out the days that you can be fresh on race day for too. So it takes a while.
What about diet?
Diet, I'm full, basically all red meat, like almost a carnivore diet. So I mix in a little calories and carbs here soon, but I'm all meat, all red meat.
Multiple meals a day?
Yeah, just breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks in between. Yeah, nothing special at all, but I try and eat as much as I can. And I gained from this end of the last season to the start of this season, I gained like almost 20 pounds, 15 pounds.
Crazy. And it looked like it was all muscle too.
Yeah. Which like I said, like I think that's what helped me out a lot this year.
For sure. Just being stronger and being able to like have that weight to like move the bike where you want it to and like put it in certain places. And like you said, like some of the dudes you race it against are bigger boys. Like they'll park you in a second.
Yeah. And you look guys like Chase Sexton, they're big. They carry a lot of muscle around, and he's one of the best right now. So
like you said, all the guys back in the day used to just cycle all the time. And like they were so like they were riding a 450 and they're 125 pounds, 145 pounds, where it's like, I feel like that's changing now.
It is.
Bro, speaking of Chase Sexton, did you watch last weekend? Mm-hmm. Did you watch last weekend?
Yeah. Who didn't watch it?
Yeah. I mean, can we talk about this guy? He's like probably one of the fastest dudes on the track right now, right? I mean, consider that Jet's out, couple Hunter's out. A lot of dudes are out right now. I feel like a lot of people are actually getting hurt this season.
A lot of people got broke off this year, especially within the last 2 weeks.
But this guy is literally just putting on a clinic. And then what happens? Obviously, watching the sport as a fan, I'm not a racer. I could probably go fast. I could probably beat like Johnny Luch or Frankie, one of these guys that rides baggers.
He can't even ride a bike with the clutch.
Yeah, he's seen it. He's in here every morning. Yeah. But like, how does a guy who's so talented like that, just like, I don't know, because from my perspective as a fan who watched sports, like it just feels like it's either like a team thing or it's a overcompensating of like there's so much pressure that he wants to win that something happens and it slips, because it doesn't seem like he's a bad racer. It seems like he's one of the best, right?
Yeah.
So like, how does that work?
It's 100% all the time for him.
Yeah.
And no matter what situation he's in, he could have taken that last lap last weekend and cruised around and still won the whole overall.
He could have sat back in third and still won, though.
That's what I'm wondering.
He's racing
himself
and to win every single time he's on that track. And I give him respect for that. But at the same time, it's like, dude,
that's not how championships are won.
But why is that?
You watch Carmichael and you watch Stewart and those dudes back in the day where they're like, you know what? I'm just going to salvage a third today. I'm a third place guy versus going for it. But dude, when you have that confidence and you know you can win and you're coming from dead last to top 3, you know what I mean? Like, you know you have it. And mentally, sometimes you're like, I want to show these dudes what the fuck's up. Like, this is what I'm better than you. And sometimes it'll bite you in the ass and sometimes it works.
But why is that? Is it the team or is it the racer? Because
shouldn't the racer
be able to sit down with the team and be able to be like, hey, strategically, we should probably try to figure this out, or does it not matter? I'm asking from a fan's perspective. Like,
I think it's a little bit of both. I think afterwards, probably the team's like, hey,
you should have just sat back and got the overall. But it's I feel like it's more of like a not so much of an ego thing, but it's like proving to yourself, like, hey, I'm the best and I'm going to win right now. Like, I'm going to pass him on the last lap.
If he did pass him on the last lap with 2 corners to go,
which you see it happen all the time.
This weekend, he would have been like, dude, I own you.
Yeah.
You know? But Cooper Webb's so good, and this is why he's won championships in the past, is because, hey, he'll sit back in second and take the overall.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the KTM manager talk about, like, hey, we can't blame the guy. The guy comes out here and wants to win every race, so it is what it is. How can you ever get on a racer like that? But just like watching him ride, I'm like, because we've been watching it so closely here. We have all the races here. We have everybody at the house. Everybody's so into it this season. You know, it just seems like this guy is so talented, but that seems like a huge, like in MMA, we see that all the time. Like, dude, just you're up on rounds, or, you know, you have to kind of like as an athlete, see what the bigger goal is.
Sometimes talent's not better than luck. You know what I mean? Like it's any.
That's a great quote.
That's what's crazy about right now is like there's so many different dudes that can win the 450 class right now and the lights class. Like I feel like this is probably one of the most stacked years on East Coast, West Coast, plus 450
of all time.
Yeah. It's stacked right now. Like there's a lot of good dudes.
And the bikes.
Yeah, the bikes just keep
really
getting
good.
Yeah, every bike.
Was your first race at 3 years old? Is that true?
Yeah, one of them. Yeah,
you were on a bike at 3 years old. I don't even think I could walk.
If he was racing at 3, he was probably on a bike at 2, 2.5.
Yeah, I had training wheels on bicycle. I think I took them off at like 2 years old.
You know how to swim?
Yeah,
you're an athlete.
How was it growing up in Bakersfield, having the hills, like being able to go out there and ride all the time?
I think that's why I'm as good as I am.
Yeah,
I could go ride from sun up to sundown. I went to school, kindergarten through 3rd grade, and then after that, it was basically game on. Like I rode the hills all my life, and the skills you learn out there is unmatched. Like it's crazy, but
you can't teach that riding a track. I don't feel like, you know what I mean? That's like what you figure out yourself. And it's funny because when I talk about the hills, I see the smile on your face. It's like you love riding.
Well, that's just like home for me. Like I can go out either in Bakersfield Hills or wherever out here in SoCal. Like it's just something that I enjoy doing, and I haven't done it in a very long time, but it's just home, and me, Jet Reynolds, the whole Bakersfield. There was 4 or 5 of us that came from Bakersfield at one point, and sun up to sundown, and ride it till it runs out of gas.
I feel like that's why I've always been such a big fan of you, because just seeing you as a little kid just out there just ripping the hills all the time with style, like jumping the same stuff that we're doing on 125s and 250s, you know? Like I remember not that long ago, I actually rewatched like your monster edit that you did out there, and I was like, dude, this kid has always been a badass on a motorcycle.
Yeah, just the skills and stuff you get from being out there, it's unmatched. Yeah.
I feel like that's like Southern California's Beaumont for Baco for you guys. Cause like I remember like watching Scranny out there all the time, Beckering, like all those dudes would always go build the coolest jumps.
Yeah, we have, and it's only like within 30 acres of itself. Like you can almost do the whole property in 30 minutes. So, but yeah, Beckering, all those dudes, they got some skill on a bike.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of jumps out there that are gnarly. I pulled up to a couple and been like, I'm good. And
but it was always a challenge for me. Like I would see those dudes doing it, and I'm like,
do I have it?
I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. And most of the time it would work out, most of the time it wouldn't. But
and it's like you didn't really have anyone you could test run behind or like listen to someone else hit it. You're like, if they're hitting it on second on that, I'm gonna be like 5th on this bike.
On 85.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I grew up in Kern County, so right down the street from you.
You did?
Yeah, Bodfish. You know where Bodfish is at? Lake Isabella?
Oh,
Kern County. Kern River.
Okay. Yeah. That's not far.
I used to go up there all the summer.
So there's a track up there.
Yeah, right on the backside. In 2020, and I know I was talking to you about this, is it harder for an athlete, because once again, I compare it to other sports, is it harder for an athlete to have these accomplishments? You know, AMA Motocross Youth Rider of the Year 2020, you have all these like child prodigy wins, you know, Loretta Lynn's, like everything about you going through the stages, you're checking all the boxes and you're becoming this like super well accomplished racer at such a young age. Is it more pressure, or does it make you come into the races with more confidence and ego to be like, yo, I've been here since I was a kid, I can just put it on you guys? Because I always wonder that about freestyle too. Like everybody, was able not to watch you on social media. They just had to know about you. So there had to be this allure to you when you would go to a competition and people would be like, oh, damn, I got to go against Twitch.
It was the same way. We'd just practice our asses off and be like, all right, I'm going to go show these dudes what I can do because I know I'm better than you.
Yeah. And it was like that my whole amateur career. Like,
it's crazy.
No matter, who was on the gate and no matter what track we were at, kind of just, looked back on the work that we did. But that also made it harder for me to come into the pros, and I held myself such a high standard that when I came into the pros, like I expected to win right away. And obviously it's a lot harder than that. So I've still struggled to this day of taking a third and having small goals. I guess I just hold myself such a high standard that it makes it tough on me.
What was the deal when you went pro? Because I remember you went pro, but then you like dropped back down. What happened? Did you get hurt? I don't remember.
Yeah, so I did the 4 nationals after the Redas.
Yeah, which you're allowed to do without going pro, right?
Yeah, and I did great. Like that was
pulled a holy somewhere, Redbud,
and ran podium position for 25 minutes, and that's honestly the worst thing that could have happened because I came in my first race and killed it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, if I put in a little more work, I can be one of these guys. And I did the four rounds, and then I was supposed to do 1 round of futures and then maybe go East Coast that next year. And I ended up getting hurt. I tore my ligament in my thumb and set me back a little bit. Then I just went full outdoors that year, and that was my full ride on PC, which that year was okay. I had some good finishes, but at the same time it was tough. And even last year was tough up until this point. I finally felt like I was starting to get the ball rolling this year.
Do you feel a lot of pressure riding for like when you rode for Mitch, like that first year you actually like was going to ride outdoors? Because he's a scary dude. If you know what I mean, like
no, he really is. And those 4 races that I did, he was just more supportive and happy that I was there, and he wasn't tough on me. And once I was signed a contract and was riding actually for him, he got a little frustrated with me, but. And honestly, he knows my full potential, and he wanted the best for me.
I feel like that's why he would get so frustrated with you.
And when I wouldn't show my full potential, that was when he would kind of snap on me and get in my ass. But like I said, he only wants the best for me.
Yeah, exactly. He's watched you your whole career. He's supported you, everything you've done. So it's cool to see it when it's like that. But at the same time, like sometimes it's hard dealing with pressure like that.
It is. And you know it. When you come off the track, it's like
you're right. I don't even want to go to the fucking semi.
No, you get undressed as fast as you can, and you're out of there. But then if you don't talk to them, then it's a whole nother day.
Yeah, then you're like, oh, Monday's gonna suck at the test track or Tuesday.
Yeah.
With having like the experience Twitch in terms of like, we have guys who came in the other day who are like super well accomplished skaters. You got like a guy like Ryder Sheckler. They come in here and they talk to all these athletes, and everybody shares the same common principle of like, train hard, work hard, hopefully win, try to make money outside of racing, try to make money outside of skating, try to make money outside of, MMA. So that way you could focus on your craft for more and you don't have to stress about payments and money and contracts, right? Is there a lot of pressure like on racers? Because I know freestyle and the way you did it was a little bit different back then just because you guys had monster deals. I don't see those types of deals anymore. No pun intended. Don't mean monster, but just like these ideas of huge contracts. Do you ever feel the pressure of like, not only do I need a race, but I got to try to figure out how to build an image outside of racing? Because it seems like racing is kind of sheltered. I've learned that just from Jaxxon, trying to be involved heavily with Santo Studio and Jaxxon, going to these races. I'm like, damn, this kid would be a sick model. This kid would look dope with a campaign. This guy could go do another shoot for shoes. Like, but it seems like it's very sheltered. Do you ever feel the pressure of like, damn, I need to train and I need to try to build a career outside of racing?
For sure. And I think going back, when I was younger, I did make a pretty good image of myself.
Yeah.
Being with DC, being around all these guys that
he was with McGrath, Bierman, Robbie Madison.
That's a crazy lineup.
Gnarly people, and he's always in every photo with these dudes, every video.
That's a crazy lineup.
It did come pretty easy, and I grew up in that. And then once I gotten older and turned professional, it has gotten harder because you're focusing so much on day in and day out of racing, and then also trying to manage promoting yourself and trying to build this image in life.
And injuries and just everything that comes along with it. Like dirt bikes are gnarly, dude. Like you can not crash and you're still hurts most of the time. Like, or we're all still riding through injuries from years before, or ankles don't work as good. Like I feel like moto tears your body apart.
Yeah, but I think you could show your true self really easy in this sport with interviews or whatever outside of the track or being in the pits and just showing your true self builds fan base like no other.
Yeah, you got to have some character because for the longest time, I feel like moto was so stale. Like everyone would get on the podium, just thank their sponsor, their 37 sponsors, which we see on your fucking jersey. We know who you're sponsored by. We know, like, we saw your bike. We watched you ride for 25 laps. We know what
that really irritates
riding.
you. This whole concept of just talking about sponsors really irritates
well,
you.
It's just
It
everyone knows you
somewhere.
don't need to thank them every single time. Like I want to see someone get on the podium and be like, yeah, fuck him. Like I don't like him. Like if you do that to me again, I'm gonna park you. Or it's like, yeah, I love battling these dudes. I love having fun. Like have some personality.
Is that why everybody loves Deegan right now?
He has personality.
Is that why though, you think? Or is it because he's a dope racer?
Probably both. Like
Yeah.
he's backing up what he says. You know what I mean? Like,
Do you think it's too much though for Supercross?
No, I feel like Supercross needs stuff like that. Like at times, yeah. Should you not talk shit before you watch some footage to see what actually happened before you say something that might make you look dumb? You should look. You know what I mean? Like that's like when I watched the stuff this weekend with Webb and Anderson. They're like, hey, dude, I went back and I watched footage. Like, I'm sorry. I thought your lap was done. I was trying to throw a heater in. Like, so when it's like that, it's cool. But like, I feel like Moto needs the villain and they need the good dude. You know what I mean? Like, who are you going to root for? I'm going to root for the dude that has tattoos and like talks a little bit of shit because that's how I am. And that's what I like.
You can relate.
Know?
Like, I think Jason Anderson, he's not very flashy, but he shows him true self. And he's not this guy that
he's not scared to tell you.
He's not a robot and he's not scared to tell you. And I feel like that's who I try to relate to. So yeah, and I give respect to Deegan because he talks that shit and backs it up.
Yeah.
And
you guys have raced each other forever.
Yeah, and sometimes I can't stand it and it fuels my fire,
but you need that sometimes.
And I need it. And I think our sport needs it, but I think that sometimes he needs to learn how to talk it. But that's my opinion.
But do you feel like, because I don't feel a lot of people give it back to him though, right? I feel like he's able to kind of do whatever he wants right now. It's kind of his game right now.
Yeah, he's confident.
Yeah, he's confident.
That's all it is.
But also too, it's the marketing aspect of it too. I feel like I've seen races and it's like the guy who just won the heat is not the one talking. It's like the camera straight to Deegan. I'm like, wow, that's lit.
Yeah, see,
because they know they'll get the interview they want.
This is what frustrated me is I ran podium the whole time.
I'm not trying to start any problems. I'm just saying, I noticed these things about marketing.
Yeah,
you know?
And they do a great job at it. And like I said, I give them respect for it. But I ran third the whole race, took fourth. He took fifth. He's up on the podium getting interviewed, and I'm at the truck. So
yeah, you're like, what the fuck?
And it's nothing. I'm not mad or anything at it,
but that would irritate me.
And it's just irritating, like you said. But
you had your best ride, your breakout ride, and then you get no like, hey, look at Ryder D.
Which he said at the same time, like, hey, I'm not supposed to be up here for a fifth place.
I saw that
finish,
and that's where I was like, that's
fine.
Cool.
And that's something that is good that he realized.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, like you got to hand it to the kid. Like you're saying, the self-awareness for you to understand it, and then the self-awareness for him to understand it. It's what's making probably the sport better for all of you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he's doing a good job, regardless of the controversy. I don't know why they always compare him to Jet. Like they're not even in the same. Like I don't get the whole.
That's just Supercross trying to make their TV show better. Always.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I don't understand that comparison, but I like what they're doing because I feel like for a brand and a guy who's like a fan, obviously I keep saying it because it's a different perspective. It's cool. Brings a little bit of energy. I mean, the only energy I got at A1 was the guys I came with in Twitch. You know, I had like Villapoto, McGrath was up there, Sheckler, Twitch, Ellie Dela Cruz, my family. Like we had a huge squad, but it's not like they're not giving you that perspective from a fan's point of view if I'm watching this at home on Peacock.
No.
Like I like Adams announcing and Ricky Carmichael, and that's probably about it. Yeah. I mean, it's a different environment. It's definitely not, they don't pitch this and I'm not saying they do a bad job. I love it. I'm just saying it's a different perspective. It's not like X Games. I'm not watching something and getting these crazy backstories.
Yeah.
I kind of watch the same recut tape about like the guy running through the forest and like, this is how he trains for Supercross. Like, and it's cool though, but I'm just saying I could see how it could really evolve if they let guys like you and these other people have like cool stories. Dude, we learned so much about you and Deegan and like Sheckler and all these guys, you know, P-Rod, when I would watch X Games, like they would have all these cool cuts.
Yeah, they'd always do like backstories and stuff like that, commercials and stuff
and
like
look
that.
how marketable you are. Even without that, you're able to talk and be free and you're never one to hold back what you have to say. it does make sense. Like when we watch Supercross, they do just say, yeah, I want to thank Monster and, Alpine and everybody. It's like, I get it.
Yeah,
but
I feel like from a fan's point of view, it's hard to relate to some of the guys. You could have some of the guys winning everything and they're not marketable at all just because you don't click with them. Like there's no like, oh, I love this dude because he did this, or I love this guy because he did that. When it's just like, I want to thank blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And there's no smile. You're like, you just got second. Like I understand getting second place and still being pissed off when you know you could win. But at the same time, it's like, how do the fans relate to that? Most of the time, like I used to always think Villapoto was a dickhead. I never really liked him when he raced. Like I liked him because like he was cool, but like I even told him, like, dude, I'm like, after you retired, you were way cooler.
Way cooler.
Because you could see his personality. He joked around, he laughed, he had fun, And I feel like that's what's cool about seeing Eli Tomac right now. Like the fans love him. The fans didn't love Eli Tomac 4 years ago when he was on a Kawasaki. He was just an Eli Tomac. Oh yeah, he could win. You know what I mean? Like he's a beast. He's a badass. But now you hear him when he's passing people. The whole stadium standing, they're cheering. It's like you're getting more personality out of the dude that's winning the races now. And I feel like that's huge for the sport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the two Lawrence brothers brought that back into our sport. Mm-hmm. I think they helped out that a lot because Jet would just.
He would say what was on his mind.
Run his mouth the whole time, and I loved it. And I think that's what brought that back into our sport. And yeah, the two Lawrence brothers have helped out a huge amount.
Yeah, I mean, they were in here training when you were in here as well. You think when they come back, Jet comes back full speed, or does he come back just for outdoor? What do you think happens with those guys?
I think when they come back, they're going to do the same thing. Their body's going to be right, and they're going to come back to win. They don't want to go back there. They don't want to come back and not win and have an excuse like, oh, well, I'm not ready yet. It's like, no, I'm going to be ready when I come back.
Be 100%. And it honestly, and it helps. Like you're going to be fully ready for outdoors, which these guys are coming off Supercross and
with no break.
They're tired. You have 17 rounds of what Supercross you just did. You have really no bike setup for outdoors.
Yeah.
So those guys, like, we're going to take it to our advantage of being strong, not really burnt out, and have this bike setup.
You actually have time to go practice outdoors and be practicing and building your body back for that.
Yeah, so it's better probably just sit out the rest of Supercross.
And honestly, they had the best couple last years. It's like, why not get a paid vacation?
Yeah.
You're hurt, but you're still getting paid to fucking chill.
Yeah, I mean, they got a decade left in the game, minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, same with you. You have a long time in this thing. What do you see? Like, I was talking about this earlier. Like, when you talk about like goats and people who like you look to coming up in the game. I know we've talked about this a lot. You're in here every morning. All we do is try to work out, but sometimes he stays focused, and I'm over here trying to do Instagram stories. I'm like, yo, give me a laugh or something. He's like, I'm working out. Don't bother me.
I'm busy. Leave me alone.
But like, do you look at like these guys that came before you as like a kind of an icon or a beacon of like, hey, this is the symbol of where I want to go. This is the path I want to go down. This is what I want to look like. Are there guys that have kind of laid that for you?
Yeah. And I wouldn't say so much off the track or like I just look at to people's riding style and what they did in the sport. And I think a guy that I look up to is Ryan Villapoto. All the success that he had and how he did it and the mindset that he had. Maybe, like you said, he could have had a different attitude on the podium or whatever, but the success and how he did it is remarkable and in a short amount of time too. I think he retired by 27, 28.
He was pretty young.
So yeah, like I think that's someone that I look up to and James Stewart also and that whole Chad Reed, everybody, like
that whole era was the funnest racing to watch. Like when it was Reed,
Davey,
Stu, Millsaps, like Carmichael, like all those dudes, like they would have the gnarliest battles.
Yeah.
And keep it clean as hell the whole time. Without touching each other.
Didn't Villapoto's kid just win?
Like, he just won the little, what was it? The KTM race, right? Yeah.
That's
rad.
Crazy.
One of them raced at Glendale, and then the other one won this past weekend.
It's funny, too, seeing him on the line, just all KTM decked out. Like, that looks so weird.
Yeah.
Like, so do those kids get signed off the break? Like, how does that even work as a kid?
No, there's still so much racing to do. Like if those dudes, like there's still so many races you have to go hit and you have to be at for like manufacturers to like take it serious.
They've only been at it for a year. That maybe been like their first big race. So
yeah,
when they came off, the helmet looks bigger than the kid. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah. So like the whole amateur deal, it's from now till the end of August, and I think RV's all in.
That's so crazy to watch him on this.
Moto Dad.
Yeah.
He's going to be out there with the fanny pack with the T-handles, the goggles.
Which I talked to him, and he would never put his kid on a bike, and they love it. So
yeah, like they want it.
As a racer, you never want your kid to go through what you went through.
No, just with all the injuries and all that stuff, you just like, I don't want to see my kid in that position. You know what I mean?
Do you ever let your girls ride bikes?
My middle one, Savvy, she rides.
Yeah?
Yeah, off and on here and
With
there.
you?
But she has gnarly scars on her elbow, on her knee from like eating shit on the asphalt. Like it happens. It's a dirt bike. You're going to crash.
Have you ridden the Stark? No?
Can't.
Oh, wow.
It's GasGas guy, dude.
GasGas.
But you can't even ride it like for fun?
Nope.
Damn.
Can't even talk about it.
Oh yeah, amen. See, I like that. That's good. See, that's the good training from a guy like you. Have you gotten one yet? Do you ride them?
I've ridden one.
Oh, do you have one?
No.
I saw you riding in the hills the other day.
No, you didn't.
No, not one of those. I just saw you riding in the hills the other day when I called you, and then you were.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, dude, I for sure would be able to keep up with these guys because I rode one the other day through the street over here. It's the fastest thing I've ever been on.
They're fastest.
I would be able to keep up with anybody on that thing. Now all those arguments I've been having with people on the podcast. Oh, he thought I was trying to get you caught or something. No, no, I was like, what? Wait, yeah, you were. No, all the arguments we've had about people racing for 150%. I love the Stark dude. He is so cool.
Tony Stark.
Yeah, they should not be allowed in Supercross. It is the fastest thing I've ever been on in my life. I thought I was gonna die. First of all, I hit a trash can because it doesn't even brake. I couldn't even brake because I didn't even realize how fast I was going. And then, I almost died, but it's fine. It's the fastest thing. It for sure cannot be allowed. I'm making that clear. It's too fast, bro. It's the fastest thing I've ever been on.
Yeah.
The sound of a 4-stroke and 2-stroke makes Supercross. The noise, no offense to the Stark guys, but the whole side of FMX, though, is game-changing.
Yeah, but I don't know. I heard through the grapevine that they might not allow e-bikes this year at X Games.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I heard it the other night. I don't know. They're just saying it's a different classification.
No, it should be a different class of its own.
Wait, why?
It's just there's no gyro in the motor. It's completely different from like an actual motorcycle, which I've never really seen that happening with X Games, but we'll see. That's just what I heard. I don't know 100%. Like I'm not starting any rumors, but not really.
Yeah, because I thought you were the one saying like it's the same thing, right?
I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like if you put Patrick on a normal bike, his whips would be almost just as big. Like the kid's really fucking talented on anything he rides. Like he's.
Yeah. If anyone wanted to be close to Patrick, though, they'd have to get it on the Stark.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, they should just have like a completely different race then and let those guys race on those because that thing is the fastest thing I've ever been on.
Well, they do. They've been letting them race this year for like Arena Cross. They have their own class and stuff like that. But man, I don't know. It's just different. Only time will tell.
What does it take, Twitch, and just for like to kind of recap with you a little bit, what did it take mentally when you're going into like a competition at X Games to be like locked in? Because we talk about being locked in, and I was talking to Luke Rockhold this morning, and I'm like, how do you get locked in for a fight when you know like you're the only guy that can do the damage? Like you walk in that cage, once that cage is closed, no one's there to help you. How do you like mentally lock into that? Because leading up to that, you have this huge crew.
Yeah, but I feel like for me, like every time I was on my bike, like it was just me. I don't worry about anything else. Like if I'm on my bike and I'm at an event, or I already did all the work during the week. I worked out. I rode twice a day. I practiced everything I wanted to do. I wasn't going to an event to do something for the first time on dirt. I was like, hey, if I'm going to get hurt, I'm going to get hurt at home. And I'm going to do it on dirt there. So when I get to the event, I'm not stressing or thinking about it and taking my mind off of stuff that I want to do, but I've never done to dirt. Like I've seen so many guys go to events and eat shit that could have won an event without even doing that trick. Or I don't know. I've been hurt a lot of times. Not too bad, but like enough to where when I got to an event, I knew as soon as I would get to an event, I would look at the course and be like, cool, I'm winning today. Or I'd be like, I got third. Like I would say shit like that to myself in my head. Like, cause I would know, like I just was so confident when I would get there. I already prepared myself. So when I'm there, I'm ready to go do battle. And like, I don't care who you are. Like I'm there to beat you, whether you're my friend or not. We're still going to be cool afterwards, but I'm going to beat you today, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk shit to you on the podium. So when we practice during the week next week, we push each other even harder.
Yeah. It's the same thing for us. And once we walk down that tunnel into the starting gate, like
it's all
when you have your helmet off and you're looking into the stadium, but right when you put that helmet on, it's everything goes silent. And I think once you're behind the bars, I wish everybody could feel that feeling of that.
It's hard to
pressure
explain
in your
that
stomach.
feeling.
And I think that's why we love to do it. And dude, I couldn't tell you, like when you're riding in Supercross and you're racing, you wouldn't think there's a stadium around you.
No, you're just focused on
And
what you're doing. And that's
it's
it.
crazy. And once you obviously you get off the track and everything, then you realize what you did and what's around you. But I feel like for me, once I put my helmet on and put my goggles on, it's silent.
It's game time.
It's game time.
It's like you get in this trance, and it's like you don't think about anything but what you're there to do by yourself.
And it's funny, like you said, I'd show up and this is a course for me.
Yep.
Where some days you're like, hey, I'm
gonna struggle
it's gonna be
today.
a challenge.
Yeah.
And yeah, you show up to those tracks and you're like, okay, you got a good whoop section. It's a little bit tighter today. Like
I'm really good there. I'm okay there, but I'm really going to be good in this section here.
Yeah. And you show up to those tracks or you're like, dude, it's going to be a struggle today, but we're going to get through it.
It's crazy too. Like you said, like I wish people could feel that feeling that you get when you put your helmet on and you know it's just you out there doing your thing. Because it's almost like slow motion sometimes. Like shit will come so easy, but then sometimes stuff will come so fast too, where you're like, where the hell did that come from?
One thing you talk about, where
Get
did
off
that
the fucking iPad, dude.
You talk about where that came from. No. I got something for you because when you said that. So there's we have a Jaxxon podcast, and it's like a Discord, and we ask them now something they love about moto, something they love about skate, something they love about surf, something they love about MMA, and we let them all submit like 10 questions so they could find out more about the guests at the end of these shows. So first of all, I want to say thank you for coming on the show. Twitch hit me up about having you on. Of course, whatever Twitch says we do here, especially like Vinny and Loco, when Twitch says do this, they do it. And believe me, if you could see the things they do.
Never been. I
feel
love
like
you guys.
It helped a little bit from having those 2 good results. And then obviously what happened a couple of weeks ago, I have a little story to tell, but yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to say thank you always. And I do want to say, all joking aside, very, very proud with how much work you put in here this year, because you represent Jaxxon, whether you know it or not. And you come in here, you do an hour set, you get it in, you don't mess around. You're very, very focused. And then after that, you're down to play. You know, you hang out with my dad, my family, you go to breakfast. Very, very humble, very respectful. I think when people get to know a person, like I got to know you this last year, way more than just what I know about you on a bike. You see someone's personality. Like Twitch is a rock star, but if you meet him, very humble, very kind. He'll tell you to F off at 8 a.m., but the guy's there when you need him, right? So I think when the audience gets to learn a little bit about you, and when the community, man, they already know that you can rip on a bike, but it's always good when someone can actually get to know somebody. So I want to tell you that. And I'm gonna ask you like 5 or 6 questions, Twitch, and then I'm gonna ask you the same thing. So the first one is, what's your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby? Golf.
What's your favorite thing to do on a Friday night?
Favorite thing to do on a Friday night? Like, honestly, smoke a joint laying in my bed.
Favorite movie to watch?
I don't go out. Like, I don't, if it's someone's birthday, I'll go out. But like, dude, honestly, I'm in bed by like.
What happened to like the days of Metal Militia, like burning RVs and destroying hotels?
That shit's old, dude. I got kids. I'm a grandpa now. Okay. Like, I got responsibilities.
Favorite movie to watch?
Favorite movie to watch? Dazed and Confused.
Wow. Favorite place to ride a bike?
Favorite place to ride a bike?
A motorcycle, not a regular.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Twitch on a little spin cycle bike.
I hate riding a road bike. I'd say favorite place to ride, probably Ritchie Canyon.
Oh, wow. Have you ever blown up something?
I've blown up a lot of stuff.
Have you ever been kicked out
of the toilet
of
this morning before? No.
Oh my God. Have you ever been kicked out of a country?
No, I've never been kicked out of a country.
Have you ever been kicked out of an event?
I've been kicked out of several events.
Your favorite bar to go to?
Favorite bar to go to? In my shop at my house where nobody is and I don't have to talk to anybody.
A favorite photograph that you have at your house?
Favorite photo? Probably the photo of me on top of the podium standing next to Pastrana and Nate, because that was like the first like big event that I ever won, and it was when Pastrana and Nate were winning everything. Wow. And back then, no one really believed in me that I could really do it, and that was like the year I took it serious. So I was like, I'm gonna beat these fucking dudes. To
beat these guys in their prime too. Not a lot of people get to say that. Favorite athlete growing up?
Favorite athlete growing up? It's funny because I always talk shit about football, but it was Jerry Rice and Joe Montana.
No way.
I hate football now. I used to love football when I was a little kid.
How are those your favorite athletes?
That was my era, dude.
Wow. Favorite city to go to? Favorite city?
Temecula, dude.
Wow. Twitch is pretty easy. And then last one is your favorite restaurant to eat at?
Favorite restaurant to eat at? Man. I really love Spuntino's, which is this really good Italian spot in Temecula, and I also love La Cocina, this Mexican restaurant right down the street from my house.
La Cocina?
Yeah.
Del Taco or Taco Bell?
Neither. They both give you diarrhea.
In-N-Out or Five Guys?
In and out.
Oh, good. And then favorite music artist?
Favorite music artist? Dougie Wallenbach, Jimmy Hill.
What
That's a good pick.
world?
No,
That's
because,
crazy.
No, because he's from the same town you are.
Yeah.
Really?
No, it's one of our buddies that just fucks
Yeah.
around, and he's like, I was
He's
just
from
joking.
Lake Isabella,
No way.
Yeah.
Kern County.
Wow, that is crazy. That's a crazy play. Wow. All right, I'm going to give you that. The Jaxxon Podcast Discord thought your favorite music artist was going to be Cottonmouth Kings.
Well, when I was 18, 19, 21, yeah, it was. I was at every fucking concert. Like 4 nights a week, I'd be in LA.
And the bonus question, you don't have to answer this. What was your first t-shirt you ever bought? What brand was it?
My first t-shirt I ever bought?
What brand was it? Everybody wrote Metal Militia, but I said no.
No. Dude, I'm 43. I'm old as hell. I don't remember that.
Oh, you don't remember?
You remember the first t-shirt you ever bought?
Yeah.
What?
It was a Shorties t-shirt.
My shit was, you know what
it
my
was a
shit
Shorties
was?
t-shirt. I was in 7th grade.
I used to get all my school clothes at Kmart on layaway. That's where I would get shit from.
No, like the first one I ever had enough money to like from chores or whatever I was doing with my dad. I had like $30. I went to a skate shop and I had
Spend it all in one shorty shirt.
one Shorty shirt. And it was
You
like,
probably wore it for 4 days.
I wore every day to school. Because back then when you were in elementary school, you wore like the same clothes every day. Now, like,
What are you talking about? I still wear the same jeans every day.
bro, I go to elementary schools that my girl's kid, I walk in there and there's kids that have Gucci backpacks and they're like in 6th grade. And I'm just like,
You're
bro,
also in Orange County, though.
Yeah,
but
true.
that's
Newport,
crazy.
fucking-
Growing up, everybody wore like Hurley Quicksilver, Metal Militia.
I had a fucking JanSport.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. All right, I'm gonna rifle off some questions to you. Let's see what you got. Ready? Your favorite place to watch a sunset?
Newport Beach.
Wow, nice.
Not a bad one.
Your favorite trainer?
Joe Cancelleri.
He has to say that or Joe's going to whoop his ass
I
tomorrow
know,
in
that
the
was
gym.
an easy one. Favorite TV show?
Full swing right now. Golf.
Wow.
Oh, season 3 is pretty good
Season
right
3.
now. I'm
Wow,
on
so
like
you
the
play
3rd
golf?
episode.
Yeah.
Why don't we take him golfing with
Let's
us?
go, Pelican.
I want to do a battle. Like, I want to get all the moto guys that play golf and let's see who really could play golf.
We need to do like teams.
He's
with the whole
Legit
insane.
thing.
team.
I call
Legit
Twitch.
teams.
He's insane. You don't want to you don't want to play with me.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm a
because
scratch
you'll be
shooter.
looking for balls all day because he's
I'm a
slicing them.
scratch shooter, dog. No, but he's actually really good. Bro, he's actually really good. We played the PGA memes event at Donald Trump at the Trump National.
I played Sheckler tournament before.
Oh, did
Yep.
you really? So you know how to hit a ball?
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Dude, he's an athlete.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Your favorite scent?
Like cologne?
Yeah, or just something you like to smell.
I don't know.
I know mine.
What's yours? Wait, what is?
Everybody knows mine.
Yeah, dude, I don't have one.
You don't have one? Okay.
Hey, you know what's a really good scent is I remember being a little kid walking in the San Diego Supercross all the time when they used to have 2 strokes.
I mean, race
Just
feels
that
great.
fuel with like that smell was so good.
Yeah.
You like that smell?
Yeah, it was like Castrol 927 and like VP fuel. Like it was stupid back in the day.
You're as authentic as it comes if you like that smell. I like that. Favorite month of the year?
January.
Is that your birthday month?
No, it's just start of the season.
Oh, that's very cliche. Favorite music artist?
And you can't
Drake.
pick Dougie Wallenbach.
Drake.
You're a Kendrick guy. Huh?
I like Drake. No, I just wasn't
No.
expecting you to hit Drake. I thought you were gonna say Morgan Wallen or something.
Yeah, you can go there.
No, I mean Drake's a good one. Your favorite car?
McLaren.
Favorite photograph you have at your house?
One of me on the podium just by myself, black and white.
Wow, sick.
Sick.
Favorite event you've ever won?
Probably, I went undefeated at the Redders 1 year.
Wow.
That's gnarly.
Yeah. Favorite athlete growing up?
Growing up,
I mean, you're still growing up, but favorite
right
athlete.
now, I would say Freddie Freeman.
Oh, wow. It's one of the best baseball players in the world. Oh, that's Joe Cancellari's
Yeah,
client.
Joe.
Oh, he's doing a lot of Joe Cancelleri plugs right now. But Freddie Freeman is one of the best baseball players of all
Well,
time.
I wasn't a big fan until he hit Grand Slam this year.
Did you see that in the World Series?
I did.
Bro, I give you that.
Yeah.
One of the best moments in baseball history. Favorite hobby?
Golf.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite animal?
My dog.
What's your dog's name?
Arai.
That's a great name. Favorite board game to play?
I don't know. I've never really.
I was going to say, when was the
Yeah.
last time you played a
Dude,
board game?
never.
I Jenga. I got Jenga in the lobby over here at
Phase
Jaxxon.
10. That's a card
Yeah.
game.
Oh, yeah. If you could date one celebrity chick, who would it be?
maybe Megan Fox.
Wow, Machine Gun Kelly's gonna kill you. Favorite sport to watch on TV?
Probably golf.
That's cool. And then the last two is your favorite video game to play. I don't know if you play video games. No. You play video games?
No.
But you have a simulator.
Yeah, I would say.
Oh
simulator.
yeah, I got a car simulator. I love playing that thing.
Yeah.
If you could race one person on a bike, doesn't matter who it is, past, present, or future, who would it be? Just you and him on a track.
James Stewart.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I did race Kenny this year at Ironman. One of our last motocross rounds, he rode a 250.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he actually got a pretty good start, and I had to come to the pack, and I ended up passing him, and I came off the track, and that was like my highlight of the weekend.
Yeah,
that's got to be a
Stoked.
good
It's
feeling.
rad to be able to race someone that like you've looked up to forever. You know,
And
what
I
mean?
ended
Like,
up coming like catching him, and I'm like, dude, like he's gonna be hard to pass, and I ended up getting by him pretty easy, and I came back to the truck, and my dad's like, dude, you blew by him.
It's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah.
And the last one is a favorite quality you like to find in a person.
Personality.
Favorite quality about yourself.
Personality.
Amen. And now I'll end it with this. Favorite place you would want to visit that you've never been to yet.
Paris.
Oh, nice. Oh, this guy's like very mushy and like wants to find like love or something. You have a girlfriend?
No.
Well, he's looking for love. I could tell.
Paris? Because of Paris?
Yeah, you're doing a lot. You're like personality, like you're staring at my eyes and stuff. Like, look at Twitch when you look at that. Like, don't look at me like that.
Where else? I went to London last year.
No, London's cool.
Badass.
Yeah, London's cool. You ever been to London?
Yeah.
Yeah, London's a good vibe. So that's all I got today. I appreciate you coming on here. Cool little vibe to always see you on the camera and kind of get a little behind the scenes for you.
Definitely looking forward to seeing you get back on the bike and get ready for outdoors.
Yeah, I'm stoked. My goal, my birthday is the end of March, and that's kind of like I want to ride on my birthday.
Yeah.
I want to get back out there and at least just have fun for a few days.
It'd be sick.
Sick. Listen, guys, thank you for watching the Jaxxon Sports Show. We have brand new shows coming left and right. We got Twitch heading our new Moto podcast, and we're really trying to give you guys the best shows we can. Twitch bringing you guys the best guests he can. Make sure you guys subscribe, leave us a comment, let us know who you guys want to see next. I'm Ryder Degidio. It's the greatest co-host of all time Twitch. And Ryder, thanks for watching.
Thanks.
We're out.